David, yeah?
When I sleep, because
God is in our heart and is everywhere.
When I sleep, I tell God to live with me. I tell God, see, God sleeping with me.
But do you feel safe?
Safe.
Because there's someone watching over you, and that is God. Okay. Yeah. So you can't see him, but he's inside in your heart. Okay. And that's why you have that strength, knowing that you have God in your heart, and that everything you do it for God, and that you should not fear anything because God is with you.
I want to be an angel.
An angel? Your time has not yet reached.
Mommy, I want to be an angel. Hi guys, welcome back to today's lesson. Today's which day? Story Sunday.
So today we are going to listen to the story of... Yes, we are going to learn vegetables as we read the story of David and Goliath. Join us. And
if you're new to this video, also consider subscribing.
Yeah,
So
and ring the bell.
We teach you more about our video. Then one day, a young boy named David came to the camp to visit his brothers who were soldiers in the army. David was a shepherd, and it was a normal thing for young boys to help their family and take care of the sheep back then in Israel. David could see Goliath and see how everyone was afraid of him. But David was not afraid. David went up to King Saul, and said, "I'm not afraid of Goliath, and I will fight him." But Saul said, "You are just a little boy. How can you fight and defeat the giants?" David replied, "With God's help, I have killed lions and bears who try to steal my sheep. God will also help me fight Goliath." When Saul heard these brave words, he gave David his own sword and dressed him with the king's helmet and armor. But the helmet and armor were much too heavy for little David to carry. So he gave it back to Saul. Instead, David picked up 5 smooth stones and put one stone in his sling and went up to fight Goliath. David shouted to Goliath, "You are fighting me with you his sling," and went up to fight Goliath. David shouted to Goliath, "You are fighting me with your sword, spear, and all your strength. But I am fighting with the strength God will give me." Then David ran towards Goliath, swinging the sling round and round. Then he let the stone fly, and it hit Goliath right above his eyes in the forehead. The giant fell to the ground, and the giant fell face down to the ground. David ran up to him and grabbed Goliath's own sword and cut off his head. Goliath was dead, defeated. The Philistines were shocked to see that giant. Goliath was defeated by a little boy, and they ran away. But all the soldiers in Israel's army were excited and celebrated how David had just helped God with God's help. David became a famous hero in Israel. The end.
We have heard about the story of David and Goliath. What do we learn from that story? Fina, what do we learn from the story?
Joseph.
We learn about Joseph. Okay. Bobo, what do you learn from the story?
Jesus
Mm.
is everywhere.
Well, David won Goliath because he asked God for help. Well done, Bobo. What else do you learn, Favor?
That God is always with you when you have trouble, or when you're in a fight or an argument, or anywhere like in a school race, he'll help you win or try your best, like that.
Also, something very good.
David was clever and fast because Goliath used a sword, a spear, and a shield. And David only used a slingshot and a stone. And then David was very fast. Before Goliath could make any move or tell him something else, David firstly shoots the stone, and it hit directly at the forehead. Then Goliath was defeated.
Yeah, true. Who do you think? Yeah.
Because God was with David, and Goliath thought he was the strongest person only because he was bigger than David.
Yeah. And remember, there's a verse where we read that it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. With all your heart. That is what David did. David trusted the Lord with all his heart, and lean not on your own understanding. Goliath leaned on his understanding. He thought he knew everything. He thought he was very strong. He thought he was big. He thought he had all the equipment he needed to fight.
And David was like either 10 or 12.
Yeah, very young. It's just that he trusted God with all his heart. So the Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. God made David's path straight. And those are the promises that God gives us through his word. Something else we learn is David, before he went to fight Goliath, he asked God for help. When we have challenges in our lives, do we actually go back to God and ask for help, or we actually think that by our own strength we will be able to win the battles that we are facing? Because that is the biggest mistake that Goliath did. He thought he had all the strength he needed to actually fight. Yet David had God, and God is the strongest army you can have in any battle you're facing. So even for me and you, when you're having any challenges, let's always remember to go back to God and ask for help, because we cannot do anything on our own. Let's go back and ask God for help. Number 2, when you're going, let's say for instance, for tournaments, and you know they're difficult tournaments, or you know you will be playing very tough people, what do?
Ask God for help.
Ask God for help. Go to that tournament knowing it's not about how much you have practiced. It is not about how many tournaments you've won before. It is not about how good you are in your school. It is just about the God who has your back. And you just go into that tournament knowing that God has your back and that he will do everything to help you fight the tournament, to help you win. That's it. We learn a very important lesson from David, and I hope this will be our mantra even as we join a new week. Whatever hurdles you're facing, whatever challenges you're facing, whatever mountains you're facing, let's go back to Jesus. Let's go back to our knees. Let's ask for help. God is always ready to help. God is the best army we could have, and God has a way of helping us to fight our whatever we are going through. And I just imagine the way when you have God directing your path, God will fight your battles in a way that you will not even understand how you actually won those battles. And that is the good thing about trusting in Jesus and trusting in Jesus fully, and knowing that you really do not have any other help apart from God. So be brave, be courageous, face your mountains, face your battles head on, knowing that you have you have God with you, and that you will conquer and you will win, and there is nothing too hard for God. So that is it for today.
See you tomorrow for another day, another lesson. another lesson. See you then.
Yes. Bye bye.
And subscribe and hit the notification there and comment down below.
Yes,
If
and
you
thank
like today's lesson.
yeah. Thank you so much for everyone who has subscribed. We really feel so nice when we see our subscribers increasing by the day. It really encourages us. So if you have not subscribed, please consider hitting the red button. We will really appreciate. Thank you very much. Bye bye.